The Pentagon prepares for another round of military base closings. And a star witness for O.J. Simpson will testify out of turn on Monday. This is the CBS Evening News. And this is Bob Schieffer reporting. Good evening. Well, it won't be official until next week, but the list of military bases that the Clinton administration is planning to close is beginning to leak out. When a base closes, it's always bad news for the local economy. So for many communities this weekend, the good news is the list of bases being closed is shorter than expected. But there will be some fairly significant closings, and Jim Stewart has our report.
For the Long Beach, California Naval Shipyard, this latest round of military base closures boils down to simple mathematics. The Navy has more places to repair ships than it has ships, so Long Beach will close. And if the Pentagon has its way, so will facilities in 14 other states, including an Army depot in Texarkana, Fitzsimmons Hospital in Colorado, and the Meridian, Mississippi Naval Air Station, home to 3,200 employees. Although the cuts are less severe than expected, some home state politicians are already fuming.
And if you analyze the economic impact of base closure thus far, it's $7 billion in California. So it's an enormous problem for us.
Secretary of Defense William Perry is fine-tuning the list this weekend and is expected to release it Tuesday. Massachusetts stands to lose 2 bases, and its senators are scratching for ways to save them.
So I think we have to argue this on the military merits. Is it critical to our defense system? Is it critical to the United States? Does it make sense militarily?
South Dakota's Ellsworth Air Force Base will also be shut, while the new London submarine base in Connecticut stays in business, but will be scaled back. Surviving any cuts this year, Fort Riley, Kansas. Defense experts say the Pentagon still has more real estate than it needs.
I think they would be closing more bases in general were it not for the overall political pain of doing so.
Since the military began shrinking, the number of people in uniform has dropped a third, while the overall number of bases is only down 20%. And the experts say that's forced the Pentagon to spend more and more on maintaining property and less than it should on training, maintenance, and personnel needs.
It's damaging. It's in general, we're still trying to keep a larger force structure than the budget is really providing for.
And that's why the Joint Chiefs are so hot to keep closing bases, no matter the political cost. Savings from the first 3 rounds of base closures alone are expected to top $4 billion by the end of the decade. Jim Stewart, CBS News at the Pentagon.
With Republicans claiming now they're just one vote away from passing a balanced budget amendment when it comes to a vote in the Senate Tuesday, the president stepped up his attack on the idea in his weekly radio address. He said today forcing a balanced budget during bad economic times could turn a recession into a depression. The Los Angeles Times reports today that Judge Lance Ito plans to dismiss another juror in the O.J. Simpson trial because the man apparently failed to mention a domestic abuse case in his own life. Meantime, Rosa Lopez, the witness who may or may not provide an alibi for Simpson, will testify before the jury on Monday. Her testimony last night was canceled when the prosecutor had a child care problem and couldn't be in court. Bill Whitaker has our report.
Ms. Lopez, do you have something you wish to say?
Key defense witness Rosa Lopez is running scared.
That I wanted to leave. I don't want to be here any longer.
Since it was revealed she may provide an alibi for Simpson, Lopez says a ravenous press has made her life a living hell.
All these reporters have destroyed my life.
In opening statements, defense attorney Johnny Cochran said Lopez allegedly saw Simpson's Bronco parked askew outside his residence at the time of the murders.
When she saw the Bronco the next morning, it was parked that same spot, the same place.
But yesterday, when Lopez asked to testify early before she flees to her native El Salvador, prosecutors got her to admit she had no plane reservation, even though she had signed this sworn declaration she was leaving today.
You lied to us, didn't you? Yes or no?
Just the same, Judge Ito decided Lopez might leave the country and hurriedly called the jury late last night to hear her testimony. Then sent them away again when prosecutor and single parent Marcia Clark complained she couldn't stay late. Lopez tearfully promised to return Monday. She's a surprise disruption in the middle of the prosecution's case, and possibly a surprise of another sort for the defense.
If on Monday Rosa Lopez is anything like she was on Friday, the defense probably wished that she had taken off, and they didn't have her here as a witness.
Today, the courthouse drama took on aspects of theater of the absurd. With Lopez hiding in a hotel for the weekend, actors trooped into court to perform a play by Moliere for the jurors.
And they're definitely a captive audience. I mean, what could they possibly do if they don't like me?
While the jury relaxes this weekend, both defense and prosecution are preparing for Lopez and what could be the most crucial testimony so far. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Los Angeles.
In another major story, talks in Beijing to avert a U.S.-China trade war going down to the wire. The deadline is midnight Eastern U.S. time to agree on ways to stop Chinese piracy of American movies, music, and computer software. Each side has promised stiff trade sanctions if the talks fail. In Brussels, the future of the information superhighway was debated today at a conference held by the U.S. and other group of 7 powers. There were fears that Americans will be directing all the traffic. Barry Peterson has that story.
Politicians gathering in Brussels today came with a chip on their shoulder, and not just a microchip. The displays were dazzling, but what they see is a European market that America dominates. This is what Italian couch potatoes tune into. And the French, same old Don Johnson, different language. Some Europeans fear their very culture is being lost, and they want quotas to limit America's influence. Americans argue against roadblocks across the information superhighway.
That the fruits of our cooperation should be open access to markets for all providers and users of creative content.
This fight is about more than just who roars down the information superhighway first. It's also about the economy. Europe is still recovering from the recession. Unemployment here is still more than 10%. So the Europeans want to do more than just watch. They want to work. 35% of new jobs in America are linked to the information sector. The Europeans want in. And not just behind the scene, but part of the scene. More European TV and movie productions would mean more work. So why aren't European movies more popular? Well, ask the Englishman who produced 4 Weddings and a Funeral, a British-made box office smash made the American way.
The one that I think condemns us, the Europeans, the most is that Hollywood makes movies that the audience wants to watch.
Some see the information superhighway as an exciting new way to bring the world closer. To others, it's the last battleground in the war to make the Yankees in any language go home. Barry Peterson, CBS News, London.
And still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, an uncertain beginning for the U.S. bailout package for Mexico, and a New York City basketball player struggling to keep the dream alive.
As I sling the proverbial hash and decant the coffee and witness the results, I am dismayed by the belief that an antacid in a spoon is somehow stronger than a tablet. Au contraire.
A dose of Mylanta regular strength has this much neutralizing power. Regular Maalox, this much. But Tums Ultra has more neutralizing power. And while these have aluminum and magnesium,
Tums Ultra has calcium.
Something my body needs anyway.
So if you must take your antacid in a utensil, may I suggest
Ultra.
Ed, sink's backing up.
Get out the Lysol.
Lysol doesn't unclog drains.
It does now.
Introducing professional strength Lysol Drain Opener. It sends more power through standing water than other liquids. It clears even tough, smelly clogs.
It got out the clog.
You did well.
Get out the Lysol that gets out the clog. New Lysol Drain Opener.
Here's the latest. The deep-down cleaning power of Lysol joins the stain-removing power of bleach in new Lysol Plus Bleach All-Purpose Cleaner, an unbeatable bleach cleaner with 3 times more cleaners than the leading bleach cleaner to power out stains and tough dirt. New Lysol Plus Bleach, a superpower in cleaning.
You know you can get salmonella poisoning from bacteria in undercooked food, like some chicken or fish. But you can also get it if that bacteria has been spread around the kitchen. That's why there's Lysol antibacterial kitchen cleaner. As it cleans, it kills the bacteria and keeps them from spreading, which may help keep you from getting sick. Get Lysol antibacterial kitchen cleaner.
The White House confirmed today that President Clinton is considering sending U.S. troops to Croatia. They would protect UN peacekeepers who've been told to leave by June 30th. Mr. Clinton has already pledged U.S. troops to cover a UN withdrawal from Bosnia. U.S. Marines and Italian soldiers will provide the protection when the last UN peacekeepers pull out of Somalia early next week, and Alan Pizzi is there.
U.S. Marines came ashore here in 1992, and it's here they will land and leave from next week. American officers checked out the beach today, the final preparation for the end of the UN effort to save Somalia from itself. The military says Operation United Shield is ahead of schedule. The fact that U.S. forces have been here before makes all the difference.
I have some craft masters, and there's individuals who have seen it before. They've seen it at night. They've seen it under various conditions. So that gives me a good experience space to draw from.
The problems will be away from the beach. The Somalis are notorious looters, and Pakistani troops who will pull back when the Marines come in are hard-pressed to secure the airport gates even now. The 3-year UN operation here cost in excess of $3 billion, according to UN officials, and not all of it was well spent. A sizable chunk of the money went into the coffers of Somali warlords, who taxed salaries of Somalis employed by UN agencies. A major beneficiary was Mohammed Farah Aidid, who was at one time the UN's most wanted man. 18 American Army Rangers were killed in a futile hunt for him. Aidid's supporters still demonstrate against the U.S., but both Aidid and his chief rival Ali Mahdi have apparently made an agreement not to harass the final UN withdrawal.
I'm not sure if maybe the imminent departure of all the forces is enough to spur them to cooperation. I guess I would continue to hope it would be, but it seems awfully late in the game and the opportunities have been missed.
The Marines think the worst time for them will be the last hours of the withdrawal, when the mobs and warlords might make their bid for loot or control. The last time the Marines came across this beach, they brought hope and promise. They fulfilled the promise by helping to save hundreds of thousands of lives. Within a few days, what's left of the hope will be back in the hands of Somali warlords. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Mogadishu.
It was 2 years ago tomorrow that New York City was rocked by the bombing of the World Trade Center. 6 people were killed, more than 1,000 injured, and Bill Lagatula has our report.
Ask a survivor of the World Trade Center bombing about February 26, 1993, and they'll tell you about a day they've been unable to forget.
I remember the ceiling in my office falling on top of me, the walls adjoining in my office also falling on top of me. I remember dense smoke. I remember cries for help.
After crawling out of this office near the bomb's epicenter, Lieutenant Herman Gabora and his colleagues were awarded the Medal of Valor. Today, Gabora is back on his feet and his beat with a new zest for life.
There was no doubt in my mind, had it been maybe 10 feet closer, there's a strong possibility I would not be speaking to you today.
A receptionist, Joanna Ayers, is still at home, unable to return to her job on the 31st floor. It was from there that she fought her way down the Trade Center's smoke-filled stairs, only to be trampled in the dark.
You couldn't see ahead of yourself and say, there's another stairwell, I know where I'm going. Every step was, you didn't know what was going to happen next.
Ayers has been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome, a disorder that's kept her from the active lifestyle she yearns to lead again.
Yeah, I look forward to that. I really, really do. Being a part of life again is really a wonderful thing to look forward to.
A building mechanic, Vito DeLeo, was at his desk less than 150 feet from ground zero.
I remember we were eating pizza, and I heard tremendous boom, like a rattling boom. And I looked up, and a fireball was come ripping through the walls on the left side of me.
DeLeo was knocked unconscious. He would wake up to find his face bloodied, his eardrum punctured, and his priorities altered forever.
It's my buddy.
Instead of working overtime, DeLeo now spends his spare time teaching his son Vijay and others to play ice hockey.
Look at the goalie. Okay, good shot.
You wrap yourself around the family.
You scored. Good job.
Where before the bomb, it used to be the job was first, the family second. At this point, things have reversed 180 degrees.
To remember the Trade Center bombing is to recall the sights and sounds of terrorism. But Vito DeLeo says he and his co-workers will always think of it as a day on which part of them died and another part of them was born again. Bill Agatudo, CBS News, New York.
Hi. Thought you might like a little help. Thanks. My hands.
Should I get your Advil?
I'm trying that new naproxen sodium.
But this has special dosing restrictions for people your age. Your Advil doesn't.
I'm older, 66.
And what if you take this and your pain comes back?
Oh.
You may be in pain for hours before you can take more. Doesn't your doctor recommend Advil for you?
You're right. I'll stick with Advil.
Nothing is proven more effective or longer lasting than Advil. Nothing.
As sure as the sun will rise across America, the families that travel will have one common need: to be safe. So it's no surprise that America's favorite full-size car has also been honored for safety. That's according to Prevention Magazine, which gave LeSabre the Safe Car Achievement Award in the full-size category. Buick LeSabre, the American family car.
When the food you love doesn't love you back, try new Maalox Assorted Tablets. 3 tasty flavors in one handy bottle. Maalox Assorted Tablets. Life is good.
What's so different about Easy Spirit's new shoe? Just ask the egg. Easy Spirit introduces the new Easy Spirit, our most comfortable dress shoe ever.
I'm Charles Osgood with something unique.
A racehorse on a mission. He brings hope and help to kids who need it. Find out all about Op Smile this Sunday morning.
It has become a habit for House Speaker Newt Gingrich to make a provocative statement during his Saturday college lecture, and today's pronouncement was on unemployment benefits. If you're not working, why are we paying you, he asked. He said the main feature of unemployment programs should be job retraining rather than just money. With talks in the baseball strike set to resume Monday in Scottsdale, Arizona, the use of replacement players is beginning to create a lot of tension at spring training practice fields. Diana Olick has a report.
They may not be what fans are used to. Certainly not the polished gentleman in pinstripes.
There you go. It's a simple game.
But according to manager Buck Showalter, on this last weekend before exhibition baseball, they showed up. And that makes them Yankees.
It'll be interesting. I'm as curious as the next guy, but we want to be as competitive as possible. No one likes to lose.
But the Yankees just sent home 3 minor leaguers who refused to play here in exhibition. So do they lose their shot at the majors in the future?
I am not viewing this in any way with animosity or hate. It isn't part of the picture as far as I'm concerned.
I think that he's putting the nicest face possible on it. When he says, well, they can stay or not as long as, whatever they want to do.
Some who want to play in these games do so because they don't have a legitimate chance to play in the majors, like this school teacher.
I'm 34 years old. I'm not, when this is done with and when it's settled, I'm going to, go back to what I was doing.
For some, it's the last shot at a dream.
They asked me to come down here and to give me a job. And now I'm going to play my heart out for the Yankees.
But these young kids and these older replacement players may be the faces of at least the beginning of the 1995 baseball season.
The fans are going to see baseball. They might be seeing semi-pro baseball. They might be seeing high school level baseball, maybe less.
And when the exhibition games begin Wednesday, it'll be up to the fans to say if that's good enough. Diana Olick, CBS News, New York.
Please press 1 for California family fun trips. Press 2 for nature outings.
Whatever vacation you're pushing for, call 1-800-GO-CALIF and we'll fax or mail you free vacation tips today. Act now while California's weather is nice. Like, that's unusual here.
Everybody needs some money somehow.
When you need to send money fast, only Western Union lets you send it from home.
Hello?
Rita. Just call 1-800-CALL-CASH. Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
I could have sent the money Western Union. Did you really need the money today? Just tell me. If you had told me you needed the money really fast, I would have sent it Western
If you didn't send the money Western Union,
tell me these things anyway. What's so
did you
important?
really send the money?
Just tell them to wait.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
YoPlay is proud to fuel the dreams of the first women's team ever to compete in America's Cup. Whatever your dream, do it for you.
Pat Buchanan and California Assembly Speaker Willie Brown face off on affirmative action. See what happens on Face the Nation Sunday.
This was the week that the United States put its controversial bailout plan for the Mexican economy in place. With Mexico on the verge of bankruptcy, with the value of the peso dropping so fast, officials feared the situation might have a serious impact on the U.S. economy. The administration felt it had no choice. Even so, in the 4 days since the plan has been in place, it seems to have had no effect at all. That's our Washington Notebook. What now for troubled Mexico? At Ram Productions in Mexico City, the artists who create cartoons for Hollywood need imported lead for their pencils. But with the collapse of the peso, the price of any import is so unpredictable, commerce is ground to a halt.
Our income isn't going up and our business is being squeezed into a hole.
And we have no more money. That's the point.
It is hard to believe an entire country can lose its international credit overnight. But that is exactly what's happened to Mexico. Foreign investment that helped Mexico's economy boom over the past decade pulled out so fast it left the country unable to pay its bills.
Big trouble is the confidence in Mexico. The confidence in the government and the confidence in the situation in general.
Worldwide, there isn't much, with an ongoing peasant revolt in the South, high unemployment, and a collapsing currency. Last night's announcement by the government that the 1994 assassination of a presidential candidate was the work of a conspiracy isn't likely to calm anyone.
Mexico has a problem, and we have responded to that problem.
That was Tuesday when the administration signed a controversial agreement to furnish Mexico $20 billion in guaranteed loans to help pay its bills. The idea being that that would restore confidence in the Mexican economy, lure foreign investors back, and that in turn would restore the value of the peso.
This is the best you can do if you weigh what are the alternatives, what's the risk of doing nothing, then definitely this is the right way to go. But you cannot promise that this will work.
The bad news is, so far there is no sign it's working. To the contrary, the peso has lost 7% of its value since the agreement was signed.
I think that the essential problem is that the market sniffs out that there isn't yet a clear and decisive policy in place.
And oddly enough, it does not seem to be playing well with the Mexican public.
I don't ask for money. I mean, it's better if they bring their factories here and give jobs.
So companies with a large foreign debt like this steel mill may remain idle for a while.
People have to eat, and if they don't have money to buy it, they have to steal it, right? So it worries me.
Clearly, it will take more than 4 days to know if the plan is going to work. But the fact that the value of the peso continued to sink even after the agreement was signed has made all involved a little nervous and really underlines the seriousness and complexity of the Mexico problem.
When I was little, I was always getting caught with my hand in the cookie jar. And I still love sweet things.
like Sunsweet pitted prunes. So you see, nothing's changed. Except my cookie jar.
When the food you love doesn't love you back, try new Maalox assorted tablets. 3 tasty flavors in one handy bottle. Maalox assorted tablets. Ah, life is good.
The dream of success on the basketball court is a driving force for countless young men in this country. Few are struggling harder than a New York City high school student who was the victim of a shooting earlier this month. Randall Pinkston reports.
3 9/10 seconds remaining.
Good move.
Addison. It counts.
At the buzzer.
In his spare time, Javal Nesmith watches pro games, picking up tips. But on the streets of his tough inner-city neighborhood, he worries about a different game where the final score could mean death.
Where did the bullet strike you?
My face.
Show me. And where did it come out?
It happened on a Sunday afternoon, the day after his 18th birthday, right outside his apartment building. Through it all, Javal had only one concern.
I will never be able to play again.
Since grade school, basketball has been the focus of his life. Like many black teens across America, he sees the game as a way out of neighborhoods captive to poverty and violence.
I hope I'll make it to the NBA one day so I can move my family out of New York, buy my house somewhere down south.
But for now, Javal, number 12, the top scorer at New York's Brandeis High School, continues playing ball in the safety of a building where no one can enter without passing through metal detectors.
1 minute left in the game.
Javal's mother, his number one fan, believes surviving a near-death experience has actually helped him.
I think now he's much wiser. I think he knows that he has to be alert at all times.
Wise enough during his recovery to say no to friends offering free guns for revenge in a most unlikely place.
In the hospital.
In the hospital? How many people offered you guns while you were in the hospital?
Several.
Several.
A 9mm, a Tech 9, a lot of guns.
But Javal isn't looking for guns. He's aiming for a scholarship and a chance to play with the pros.
I want to welcome Javal back. Good to see you.
It's a long shot, but so was his recovery from a .38 caliber bullet wound. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, New York.
Okay.
Betty makes it. That's the news. Tomorrow, don't forget Sunday Morning with Charles Osgood. Then we'll see you on Face the Nation. I'm Bob Schieffer, CBS News, New York. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
It's a Big Ten battle, Wisconsin-Purdue. Then it's a Big East showdown, Georgetown-Syracuse, doubleheader Sunday on CBS.
This is CBS.